Good evening. Welcome to my restaurant. I'll be your server tonight. Do you have any questions about the menu? Oh, you want to know where the truffles come from? I see you've heard about our specials. This is the stinky little fungus we're going to shave over your stock footage pasta, and he's a miracle of logistics. Proof that human beings can always find a way to get something from point A to point B for the right price. A day and a half ago, Tom the White Truffle was about a forearm deep under some forest in Italy, and now, thanks to a complex system involving many people, dogs, and federal agencies, it's on your plate in New York City. Is it worth it? That's not for me to say, but it's logistics, and that's very for me to say. So what are these things? Basically, mushrooms, but tastier and with a bunch of added logistical problems. The first being that, unlike other mushrooms, you can't just farm them by spreading spores on some dead stuff. Truffles develop in symbiosis with living trees, doing a botanical version of the post-trick-or-treating candy swap, where instead of going Kit Kats for Reese's, they trade nitrogen for glucose. They form on the roots of oak, beech, poplar, and other hardwood trees. Sometimes. Whether they show up depends on a bunch of stuff, like soil pH and rainfall, both of which need to be high for there to be a chance at truffle formation, but it's still not a guarantee. So different species range from difficult to commercially cultivate up to, in the case of the white truffle, never been done. That means if you want a taste of Tom Truffle, you gotta find him in the wild. Which is tough because, unlike other mushrooms, truffles grow underground, one of the hardest places to find stuff. Don't believe me? Ask the body I hid in Acadia. For a while, people trained pigs to sniff out truffles, but while the pigs excelled at finding them, they also excelled at eating them, which kinda defeated the whole purpose. Nowadays, the standard is dogs who you can train to smell a truffle from 100 feet or 30 meters away, but who would rather eat the treat you give them than the truffle itself. These dogs are worth thousands of dollars each. Not that most truffle hunters would consider selling a good one. Some, however, would poison or kidnap the competitions if it would even the playing field. When a truffle dog finds Tom Truffle, its owner will dig him up with either this thing or their bare hands. Anything else risks damaging his little truffle self. So now Tom's out of the ground and the clock is ticking. Truffles are 72% water, and they lose 5% of their body mass per day to evaporation. And don't try fighting this by storing them in a moist environment. They'll rot. Even with the best possible storage, Tom will lose half of his distinct white truffly scent in 5 days, and he'll be totally rotten in 7 to 10. So if you want to sell him to some fancy pants in New York, it's time to get a move on. Tom grew in this part of Italy. That's where Italian white truffles come from. But that's assuming he actually is an Italian white truffle, which is a big assumption. See, despite what the streets say, white truffles also grow perfectly well in all these places, but people are less enchanted by the Balkans than Italy, so loads of white truffles from, say, Serbia get sold as Italian ones every season, which, sure, is fraud, but more importantly, who cares? It's the same product. People just need to learn to romanticize Serbia. So we'll go ahead and say Tom's from outside Alba, even if it's this far outside. The truffle hunter who dug him up will then sell him and any other truffs he spotted that day to a broker, one of a handful of companies that stock up from hundreds or thousands of hunters and sell them directly to restaurants. Tom gets sold to a broker in New York, so he's on an overnight flight to JFK. In the morning, someone from the company is waiting an air cargo to pick him up because going through delivery middlemen would add unnecessary time and increase rot risk. Also, our truffle distributor is just a really nice friend. Before he's released to the broker, Tom undergoes inspection from 4 different agencies: the FDA, the USDA, Customs, and Homeland Security. Any one of them could throw him out, along with every other truffle in his box, if they see something that could threaten American safety, like an invasive bug, a non-invasive bug that looks like an invasive bug, too much foreign dirt, or a full-on bomb. If that happens, it's all to the trash and the broker is out a bunch of money. But lucky for us, Tom passes with flying colors, and now it's into the broker's van and off to my restaurant, where I buy him out of the trunk for some exorbitant amount of money. And I do mean exorbitant. From September to December, when they're growing, white truffles fetch as much as $4,000 a pound or $1,800 a kilo. So I hand the broker a stack of cash, and Tom's mine. I wrap my golden stink ball in a dry paper towel, put him in a sealed container, and pop him in the fridge to ensure he survives to dinner time. And once dinner time comes around, I'll shave about 5 grams of him onto your pasta, an amount as heavy as a nickel, but for which I paid about $44. Was it worth it? Absolutely. If I can get you to throw me 97 washos for the musky scent of luxury. Because the world of truffles is a world of big money. I'm talking $400 for an ounce if you want to order one for yourself. I'm talking $10K for a 1.2 kilogram winter black truffle. Sorry, let me be more specific. $10K for an NFT of a 1.2 kilogram winter black truffle. I'm talking $61K at Sotheby's for this giant white truffle that, according to this book I made my writer read for this video, rotted before it got to its buyer. So after all that, is it worth it? No. Or at least that's what I told said writer when she asked to expense a Michelin-starred meal to the company card. Nice try though. Here's the thing. You don't need a $1,000 fungus from the Serbian lowlands to have a fantastic meal. You actually don't need anything besides this video's sponsor, Factor. Factor takes all the hassle out of cooking at home. Literally all of it. The grocery run, the slicing, the cooking, the second grocery run because you didn't realize you were low on oil, even the cleaning. That's because with Factor, you get delicious, never frozen, chef-prepared meals delivered right to your door that can be ready to eat in under 2 minutes. And I can personally attest to how tasty this stuff is. I've been a real-life happy customer of both Factor and their parent company HelloFresh for years, eating delicious meals like this Peruvian shrimp bowl almost every night. And on those days where I don't have the time to cook a whole HelloFresh box, I love that Factor gives me a still healthy, still cheaper than takeout option. It's really not that hard of a concept to explain. Meals that you choose that are delicious and healthy and just show up on your doorstep and live in your fridge until you heat them up and eat. If you want to give Factor a try, now is the perfect time because if you head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code HEI50, you'll get 50% off your first Factor box and you'll be supporting this channel when you do.